Meta just made a shocking $1 million donation to Donald Trump's inauguration fund. This comes after years of bitter public feuding that saw Trump calling Facebook anti-Trump and threatening to put Mark Zuckerberg in prison. Now, the same CEO who banned Trump from Facebook after January 6th is dining at Mar-a-Lago and completely overhauling Meta's content policies. What happened? Behind this dramatic reversal lies a calculated business strategy that's already setting Meta's stock soaring, up an astonishing 17% during an historic 16-day winning streak, while other tech giants struggle. Let me show you exactly what's behind this unexpected alliance, and more importantly, what it means for Meta's future in the new Trump era. Let's address the elephant in the room. Mark Zuckerberg and Donald Trump's relationship has undergone a transformation so dramatic it would have seemed impossible just months ago. Their feud was legendary. Trump repeatedly called Zuckerberg Zucker Schmuck, labeled Facebook an enemy of the people, and even threatened the Meta CEO with prison time. In his September 2024 book, Trump wrote that Zuckerberg would, quote, spend the rest of his life in prison if he tried to intervene in the 2024 election. Meanwhile, Zuckerberg's companies banned Trump from their platforms after January 6, 2021, with Zuckerberg stating that Trump intends to use his remaining time in office to undermine the peaceful and lawful transition of power. The move infuriated Trump and his supporters, who viewed it as the ultimate example of big tech censorship. Fast forward to today, and we're witnessing what can only be described as a calculated reconciliation. In November, Zuckerberg visited Trump at Mar-a-Lago, dining with the president-elect and reportedly demonstrating Meta's latest technology. This was followed by Meta's $1 million donation to Trump's inaugural fund, something the company hadn't done for previous administrations, including Trump's first inauguration in 2017. But this reconciliation isn't simply about personal relationships. It represents a fundamental strategic pivot that's already yielding significant financial benefits for Meta. While tech giants like Microsoft, Alphabet, and Amazon have struggled in recent months, Meta has emerged as the standout performer among the Magnificent Seven. The numbers tell a remarkable story. Meta stock has surged 22.5% in 2025 alone, making it the best-performing mega-cap tech stock by a significant margin. Amazon, up just 6%, is the only other member of this elite group in positive territory this year. This extraordinary performance includes a remarkable 16-day winning streak, a period that began while Joe Biden was still president and continued through Trump's election victory. During this streak, Meta's stock price climbed 17% to reach record highs, shrugging off concerns plaguing its competitors. Meta's success is even more notable because it's happening against a backdrop of challenges for the rest of big tech. Cloud revenue growth, a key driver for Microsoft, Alphabet, and Amazon, has slowed considerably. Meta, which doesn't rely on cloud services for significant revenue, has been insulated from this particular headwind. Additionally, eye-watering AI spending has kept other tech stocks under pressure, particularly following Chinese company DeepSeek's advances in artificial intelligence at apparently lower costs. While Amazon, Alphabet, Microsoft, and Meta plan to spend a combined $325 billion on capital expenditure in 2025, Meta's planned $60 to $65 billion investment is more modest than its rivals. More importantly, Meta is focusing these investments on its own data centers and AI capabilities to improve its existing products rather than building cloud services dependent on external customers. Meta's stock performance isn't just about what the company is doing right, it's also about how it's positioning itself in the new Trump era. This strategic pivot started even before Trump's victory was secured. In August 2024, Zuckerberg sent a letter to Republican lawmakers expressing regret that government pressure from the Biden administration had led to censorship of certain content on Facebook and Instagram during the COVID-19 pandemic. After Trump survived an assassination attempt in July, Zuckerberg called him personally and later described Trump's bloodied fist pump as one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. These overtures signaled Zuckerberg's willingness to work with the potential Trump administration. However, since Trump's election victory, Meta has accelerated its efforts to align with a new political reality. The most significant move came this month when Zuckerberg announced sweeping changes to Meta's content moderation policies. The company is eliminating fact-checkers, slowing down the process of removing potentially harmful content, and reallocating moderation teams, all in the name of freedom of expression. This dramatic policy shift essentially aligns Meta's platforms with Trump's long-standing criticisms of social media censorship. Additionally, Meta has replaced Nick Clegg, its liberal-leaning president of global affairs, with Joel Kaplan, who has long-standing ties to the Republican Party, and once served as a White House deputy chief of staff under George W. Bush. The company has also added UFC CEO Dana White, a longtime Trump friend, to its board. These moves aren't coincidental. They're part of a deliberate strategy to curry favor with the incoming administration and position Meta advantageously in the new political landscape. While Meta's political realignment has grabbed headlines, the company's true competitive advantage lies in its approach to artificial intelligence. Unlike its competitors, Meta has maintained a unique strategy that's now paying dividends. Zuckerberg himself recently declared, "I expect that this is going to be the year when a highly intelligent and personalized AI assistant reaches more than 1 billion people, and I expect Meta AI to be that leading AI assistant." Meta's integration of AI into its existing platform sets it apart. Rather than building standalone AI services like Microsoft and Google, Meta is embedding AI capabilities directly into Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, platforms that already reach billions of users daily. This approach allows Meta to monetize AI more efficiently while avoiding the costly battle for cloud computing customers. Furthermore, Meta's AI investments are strategically focused on improving its core advertising business. The company generated a staggering $63 billion in net income in 2024. And its AI initiatives are designed to enhance ad targeting and engagement, directly boosting its primary revenue stream. Mark Zuckerberg himself has undergone a remarkable personal transformation that mirrors Meta's strategic pivot. Once seen as the quintessential Silicon Valley liberal, Zuckerberg has increasingly embraced a more conservative persona. Recent statements reveal this shift clearly. He's now making a case for what he calls masculine energy in corporations, suggesting businesses are missing this element. Despite the fact that men lead 90% of Fortune 500 companies and make up 62% of Meta's own workforce. This rebranding extends beyond rhetoric. Zuckerberg's physical transformation, from his much-discussed MMA training to his newly muscled physique, visually reinforces this shift. His social media presence now frequently features him engaging in traditionally masculine activities, from spearfishing to combat sports. Zuckerberg is also distancing himself from his company's previous progressive image, and specifically from Sheryl Sandberg, Meta's former COO, who was once described as the only adult in the room, and someone who raised him like a parent. Despite crediting Sandberg with shaping his leadership philosophy and calling her a pretty close friend, during her 14-year tenure, Zuckerberg is now repeatedly blaming her for Meta's cultural challenges. To fully understand Meta's advantage in the Trump era, we need to examine the incoming administration's approach to technology companies. Trump's relationship with big tech has always been complicated, combative on social media policies, but often supportive on broader regulatory and tax issues. Trump's first term featured conflicts with several tech giants. He repeatedly criticized Amazon over tax issues and postal rates, targeted Google for alleged search bias, and of course clashed with Facebook and Twitter over content moderation. However, his administration also delivered corporate tax cuts that significantly benefited these companies and generally maintained a light regulatory touch on tech mergers and antitrust concerns. In his second term, Trump appears to be taking a more nuanced approach. While maintaining his criticism of what he sees as censorship, he's building stronger personal relationships with tech leaders who support his agenda. The clearest example is Elon Musk, who spent over $250 million to help elect Trump and has been rewarded with a position leading the new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Beyond personality, Trump's administration is signaling a specific technology vision that directly benefits Meta. Trump has indicated that he wants American companies to lead in artificial intelligence with less regulatory oversight than what's being implemented in Europe. This aligns perfectly with Zuckerberg's recent statement, "We now have a U.S. administration that is proud of our leading companies, prioritizes American technology winning, and that will defend our values and interests abroad." For Meta, which faces significant regulatory challenges in Europe and elsewhere, having the U.S. government as an ally rather than an adversary represents a dramatic shift in its global position. The most immediate benefit Meta stands to gain from the Trump administration is regulatory relief. Under the Biden administration, Meta faced an increasingly hostile regulatory environment. The Federal Trade Commission, led by Lina Khan, pursued an aggressive antitrust case against the company, seeking to unwind its acquisitions of Instagram and WhatsApp. Additionally, the Justice Department investigated Meta's virtual reality business for potential anti-competitive practices. These pressures contributed to Meta's underperformance relative to other tech giants during much of Biden's term. Investors worried about the potential for forced divestiture or significant operational restrictions that could hamper growth. Trump's return to the White House fundamentally changes this dynamic. His administration is expected to take a much more hands-off approach to tech regulation, particularly for companies that align with his priorities. Trump has consistently criticized Khan's aggressive antitrust enforcement, suggesting that his administration will pursue a more business-friendly approach. The tech world's competitive landscape has been dramatically reshaped by the rise of OpenAI and its flagship product, ChatGPT. This startup, backed heavily by Microsoft, has captured both the public imagination and massive investment dollars, threatening established players like Meta. Recent reports indicate that Elon Musk, now a key Trump advisor, offered nearly $100 billion to buy the nonprofit that controls OpenAI. This audacious move was rejected by OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, who countered by offering to buy Musk's X platform for $9.74 billion. A fraction of the $44 billion Musk paid for it. This high-stakes maneuvering reveals the intensely competitive nature of the AI landscape. For Meta, having the Trump administration, influenced by Musk, potentially taking actions that constrain OpenAI could provide a significant competitive advantage. One of the most dramatic examples of Meta's Trump reconciliation strategy came in the form of a $25 million legal settlement. According to reports, Meta agreed to pay Trump this substantial sum to settle a lawsuit related to the suspension of his accounts following January 6th. This settlement, which reportedly includes $22 million for Trump's presidential library and $3 million for legal fees, represents a remarkable capitulation. Legal observers noted that Trump's case against Meta had weak merits and was likely to be dismissed, as similar cases had been. The timing of this settlement, shortly after Trump's election victory, suggests that it was less about legal risk management and more about buying goodwill with the incoming administration. By funding Trump's presidential library, Meta has made a contribution that is both personally meaningful of Trump and highly visible as a gesture of reconciliation. This settlement strategy appears to be part of a broader pattern. ABC News and its parent company Disney also settled with Trump in December, agreeing to pay $15 million toward his presidential library and $1 million in legal fees. Reports indicate that other media companies, including Paramount Global, the parent of CBS News, are considering similar settlements. For Meta, the $25 million settlement represents a small price to pay for potentially transforming its relationship with a president who had previously threatened its CEO with imprisonment. It's a vivid illustration of how far Zuckerberg is willing to go to ensure Meta's favorable position in the Trump era. What do you think about Meta's dramatic shift toward Trump? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for a more in-depth analysis of the business and technology landscape.